Coinstr is a Bitcoin multi-custody protocol for developing spending policies or vaults and executing proposals on those policies. It uses Nostr relays and clients for discovering signers, saving policies and partially signed Bitcoin transactions, and orchestrating signatures with workflows on proposals. Coinstr eliminates friction for groups managing Bitcoin together. Let's take a look at the architecture. Coinstr is comprised of 3 clients. Coinstr Web is a policy builder. There's a CLI built in Rust, and there's also a Coinstr GUI, native GUI built in Rust using the iced framework. These clients use the same protocol, which is a series of custom event kinds that represent policies, proposals, and the partially signed Bitcoin transactions. They save these as events on a Nostr relay. We use stir-fry, but any typical default implementation of a relay would work fine. So let's build some policies. So I've just opened the Coinstr web UI. The first thing I'm going to do is connect to Nostr. I'm going to log in with my extension. I'm going to connect to our relay.rip. And I've logged in as Trey, which is the user that I'm logged into with the Flamingo browser plugin. So I'm just going to build a simple 2 of 3 policy. I have myself on it, and I'm going to add, let's see, Sarah and also Angela. If I can find her here. So this will be Sarah, Angela. I'm actually going to add John as well. These are all my, the people that I follow on, or the people that Trey follows on this Nostr relay. Okay, so I've added my participants to the policy. Now I'm just going to put together a simple threshold of 2 of 3. We're going to use John, Sarah, and Angela. And so down here in the bottom left, the application has produced the mini script code that I need to create this policy and begin to receive funds into the policy, and have the same signers as they log in into their Nostr account. They'll be able to see the policy, see proposals that are made against that policy, and approve or reject those proposals. Well, while we're here, let's take a look at some more sophisticated policies. Here's one that we could use for inheritance. For family planning, this is a 3-generation family. The Smiths, the grandparents are Margaret and Henry, and this savings is set up so that they can spend if both the 2 of them agree. Alternatively, if the kids, Trey and Angela, were to spend the money, let's say if something were to happen to Margaret or Henry, or they lose their keys, Angela and Trey could sign and then spend after 1 year. Or if something were to happen to 3 of these 4, God forbid, the grandchildren, Renee, Sully, and Samantha, could sign, let's say this would be a threshold of 2. 2 of them can sign and wait 5 years and unlock the funds. So in that way, it is useful for safe family planning. Let's see. So this would be another example policy. This one is more for business context or board of directors. So let's say we have this, we've invented this water well organization, this NGO, that has put together a board of directors of 7 individuals. And this would be their primary savings, their long-term savings. They can approve, or 6 of the 7 agree, they can move the funds immediately. Or if 4 of the 7 agree and they wait 1 year, they can move the funds. This policy prevents, it does, push for alignment, consensus among the members, but it doesn't allow 2 or even 3, two of the members, or even 3 of the members to sort of collude together and block other proposals. It will force majority vote. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our 2 of 3 example, and this is the policy that I'm going to use in the rest of the video. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is log in as Trey, although it doesn't have to be created with the same account that was building the policy on the policy editor. I want to showcase one user creating the policy where that user is not involved in the actual signatures. So just quickly, we'll come in and create this policy. In the future version, we'll be able to save the policy directly from the web UI, but here I'm just going to create it within here just so you can see how it works in this context. So for this policy of do 2 of 3 with Angela, Sarah, and John. Video demo. And I'm just going to go back to policy editor. Put everything back here and paste that in. Okay. Now we've saved that policy here. It shows up in the middle, and I'm going to deposit some funds to this policy. So I will pause the video while these confirm. Okay, that's confirmed. So now I'm going to send from this policy the 2 of 3. I'm going to grab an address. Over there. Going to send 10,000 sats. Use medium. Okay. And I'll review and send the proposal. Now, the Coinstr knows which users are on that policy that I submitted that proposal for. So each one of them just received a DM that there's a new proposal for review, and within their Nostr, within the Coinstr application or within the Nostr clients themselves, they'll be able to approve just there directly within the DM screen, approve or reject the proposal. I'll go ahead and accept it from when I'm logged in as John on the right hand side from within the Coinstr native GUI. So here's the proposal that we just submitted. We see the memo. We can take a look at it. As we, it's a lot lower because of the fee being taken out. But here, I'm logged in as Angela on the left, John on the right, but the approvals will show up instantaneously. on each other's screen because it's using the same, underlying Nostr relays to communicate with each other. So it's super fast. And so on Angela's screen, I see when John approved. And as soon as I approve on Angela's screen, John's notified, and he sees that his broadcast button becomes highlighted. So either one of these users can broadcast it. And then they get the transaction details screen, and the proposal as you see on the left-hand side on Angela's screen, that proposal has now been taken off the list. So just one other interesting feature that we have. This is Hamster, one of the typical Nostr clients. It's connected to the same relay that we're connected to with Coinstr. And you can see here, this is when the notification of the proposal was received. I'm logged in as Sarah. And again, in this scenario, Sarah wasn't involved at all. She didn't create the policy or create the proposal, but she was an eligible signer, and that's why she was notified here as a DM. So one of the elements that we're working on now is through the various clients to be able to, when they receive a DM, to show an approve button, possibly also a reject button, but probably just an approve button that they could ignore if they don't want to participate. And that button would sign the partially signed Bitcoin transaction, again, with the same secret that they're already using for Nostr, and it would put it back into the queue of approvals for that proposal. I want to mention a few other points as part of this Coinstr introductory interview. One is that the team feels like we have a lot of experience managing Bitcoin treasuries, and so this use case and the solution to the use case comes from a deep-seated background working with these tools, and we feel like we beat the other options, Sparrow, Spectre, Fireblocks, Copay, in a number of different ways. Specifically, we feel like usability is a step change in discovery of your prospective signers on your policies using your Nostr contact list, which could be, of course, your public contact list, but could also be on a private relay, relay just for your business, for example. We also feel like development of the policies themselves is much better in Coinstr than it is in any of the other tools. The ability to use the drag and drop interface with the control flow blocks and add in the keys and the users directly from your Nostr contact list is a significant usability improvement. And lastly, the usability around approval of these proposals is much easier using Coinstr than it is with using any of the other competitors. And integrating the approval directly in and workflow directly into Nostr clients is where we're headed. The team, we've been building together for 8 years as a proven profitable dev shop. The last 5 years, we've been working on blockchain-powered software, including Bitcoin, but also some other Web3 platforms like Ethereum and Polkadot. The team maintains the most used Rust library in Nostr, Rust Nostr. It's used by hundreds of projects, has hundreds of stars on GitHub. And we also have, we are a full multi-stack team, mobile, web, and back-end, and of course, a lot of Bitcoin experience. We feel like there are a number of different ways that we could monetize Coinstr. It could be, a traditional SaaS-based subscription as a service or a subscription for the service model. We also feel like we could use paid relays. We could launch private relays on behalf of businesses that want to have that extra layer of privacy. We could also allow for signers as a service. So, for example, law firms, custodians, estate managers, fund administrators who would be charged with reviewing proposals on behalf of the individual or entity that actually owns the funds and is responsible for processing approvals. We feel like being able to bring them in as a signer as a service could also be a monetization method.